Happy Tuesday. It's Julie here for Tarot Tuesdays here at Sabbatical Beauty in the Facebook group. And it is just about 9 p.m. on August 7th, 2018. And I am getting ready to tarot out with y'all. Or I am ready. So whenever you guys come on in, just say hi and I will look forward to chatting with you. All right. So I will just hang out here for a second and wait for you guys to come on in. Deidre, there you are. Hi. Thanks so much for joining us, or for joining me. All right. Tarot Tuesdays, it's the best day. Just getting myself situated. Hey, hi Deidre, it's nice to see you. How are you doing? How's your Tuesday? Mine has been kind of all over the place. Hi Darcy. My Tuesday has been kind of all over the place. I'm up, I'm down, I'm like feeling like crap, I'm feeling better, then I'm feeling like crap again. I don't know. It's been a roller coaster, and I'm just in the space where I'm like blaming it on, I'm gonna just blame things on astrology from now on, because I feel like that's like okay to do now. I'm okay, so glad to hear you. And you are very welcome. I am glad to be here. I really love talking about tarot. It's never really been, never had that many opportunities to do it, so it's nice to be in here and talk. All right, I have some sparkling water in my pint glass. We're running low. We just put in another order. Today I have cranberry lime polar water, but I'm hoping that our Jet order comes in. We order like in bulk from Jet with our polar water because we're obsessed, and hopefully it comes in tomorrow, because then we'll have like 9 enormous boxes of polar water sit on our dining room floor. All right. So I am here. My little tarot table's behind me, and sitting here I've got a bunch of stuff. I've got my deck, and I've got a couple books, and I have some sage and Palo Santo wood to burn to get started. And I also have my Witch's Brew mask. So I got a sample of the Witch's Brew mask, very generously gifted to me by the folks at Sabbatical Beauty. And I am really excited to finally mask with this for the first time. So I actually washed my face right before this, and I've got my hair pulled back and everything. And I've got my big ass, as you can see, my big occult earrings on, just to bring a little bit to this look. But other than that, my face is bare, just washed, and I've got my Witch's Brew mask for sample. This will be available from Sabbatical Beauty this fall. And I've got just a couple other things to get ready to go. So I'm going to put on my mask and sort of talk about it, answer questions about it, and talk about tarot. Yay. But the first thing I'm going to do, of course, is burn a little sage and some Palo Santo wood, just to set the mood, clear out any energy, and yeah. So got my sage bundle here, and got my candle. All right, let's light them up. Getting lit. Let's get lit here. Should probably catch some of the less burnt parts. Okay. All right. Got a little smoke going here. I love the smell of burning sage. Does anyone else burn sage? I've always loved the scent of burning sage. To me, it smells like just nature and summer and the night and just beautiful innocent, wild things. I love, it just is very transportive to me. I love the smell of burning sage. So just smudge a little bit here. And I'm also going to light a little bit of Palo Santo wood, and let's get that going as well, because that's another great scent. It smells really good. Yeah, don't try this at home, kids, or do it, if you have a fire marshal around, but yes. I apologize, I'm not like responding really fast, but for some reason the comments aren't like automatically advancing, so I have to like scroll every few seconds to like see what people have posted. So if I'm not fast with that, sorry about that. All right, cool. Okay. All right. Yeah, I agree, Deidre. You should definitely. Negative energy, I know that we've all been dealing with, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Okay. So, it is about 6 minutes in, so I've got my witch's brew mask, and I'm going to put it on as we're talking, and I'm going to just leave it on until the end of this live. And this is my first time using it, so I'm pretty excited. I am just shaking it up because I know that it's kind of like the detox mask from the summer, where there was a lot of sort of sediment and stuff at the bottom in the liquid sort of thing. So I want to make sure I get that all mixed up. So that's good. And then I have to apply it with, I actually have a just a bristle foundation brush, flat bristle foundation brush. I don't use these to put on foundation. I find other stuff is better, but I do like these for masks. And I like these actually better for masks than kind of like just like those vinyl paddle kind of things, because I feel like with certain masks it's easier to get the stuff on my face. So I'm gonna just dip in here and go for it. Ooh, all right. Oh, it smells good. Okay. I have some breakouts going on here on my chin for whatever reason, and I'm kind of annoyed with them. I also have some going on my forehead. These are like hormonal breakouts, the placement of those, and I'm kind of stressing out about it because I don't know, I haven't broken out in a while, and so when I do, I'm like, Also, it's kind of hard to apply a mask on Facebook Live, like, because I feel like I need a mirror or something to do this better. I'm gonna grab my mirror. There, okay, I don't feel so weird now. Okay. Yeah, so this is a little bit lighter in color than the detox mask. Still got that kind of nice, like, witchy green color. It's kind of fun. So that's cool. And yeah, let's get it on there. Definitely get it on my chin and all up in my forehead. I've also had some breakouts along my jawline, so I'm trying to make sure I get that there too, just to calm down whatever is going on there. Yeah, this is awesome. Gotta grab some of that good juju in there. By juju, I mean like the herby, sedimenty, brewy, witchy stuff that's just kind of chilling there on the bottom. All right. Yeah. Yeah. This is not as, it smells good. The scent is a little less kind of like, I think, pungent than the detox mask, but I like them both. Yeah. All right, cool. Oh, it feels good. All right. All right. Hi to anybody who just joined us. Nice witchy green indeed. I'm gonna just read a little bit about the mask. I took some notes about it. Let's see, tell me about this mask. Rice bran oil base, licorice powder, bearberry sage powder, songy mushroom powder, pumpkin powder, and honey powder with sage essential oil for fragrance. Yes, it smells like sage. Primary goals are to brighten skin, tone down discoloration, physical exfoliation, deeply nourish and hydrate and heal. All right. That's exactly what I need right now. Absolutely. Ugh, yeah. So yes, I like this. This is great. All those nice witchy things in there, all those fall things like mushrooms and sage and pumpkin. I'm excited about it. All right. So let's start talking about some tarot now that I've got this on my face. The deck that I have pulled out to talk about, hi Renee, the deck that I have pulled out to talk about today is the Holly Simple Tarot. And I'm not sure if I've used this, maybe I'd used this in one of my summer lives, but let me pull it out. Again, this is the Holly Simple Tarot. And Holly Simple is an artist. She is, she illustrates things by hand. She does a lot of art, and she has a tarot deck and also an oracle deck. And I got this deck last year, and I wasn't sure that I would enjoy working with it, but it turns out I love working with it. It's a little bit unconventional and kind of the pictures and the style, and I thought, oh, I don't know if this will work well. But it turns out I really have had a lot of good luck working with this with clients. So yeah, this deck is great. And also with this deck, Holly Simple, the artist, published this thing called the guidebook that she hand illustrated as well. And what's really neat about this, and as an artist, writer myself, I'm really down with this. Most tarot guidebooks, they break down every card and they tell you stuff, and hers does this as well, but she does it in such a way that's so cool that she does all these little doodles. She writes impressions of different cards, kind of what they mean to her. For example, here at the Chariot, which is a card that I often struggle with, she wrote some sort of impressionistic things here, like balance of opposing force, face your negativity, triumph over obstacles. She drew some different symbols and stuff here, which is cool. And hi, Foon, nice to see you. And the back of the book, she also reproduced like some of her drawings, like some of her initial like scribbles and stuff like that from when she was doing this. So there's like lots of scratch outs and mistakes and like things she was doodling as she was thinking about the book, and kind of prototypes of the illustrations for the deck. So that's cool. Where can we find this deck? This deck is available at, I think it's hollysimpletarot.com. Let me just Google and make sure. No, come on. Hey, Simple Tarot. So yeah, here, I'll put a link right in here if anyone is interested. There we go. But Holly Simple is the artist. You can go to hollysimplestudio.com, or you can click on that link and that'll take you to the page where the tarot is. So, all right. And I really like this deck. So let me show you what some of the cards look like in this deck. It's really neat. There's a simple color palette with this. It's sort of like yellows and blues and pinks and grays and blacks. There isn't any green or any purple in this deck that I've seen, so she stuck to a particular color palette. And the way that I would describe this deck is grotesque and cuddly. So here's an example card. This is the Page of Pentacles. There are like people in this deck, but they're kind of androgynous and they take on sort of animal forms. So like the people in the deck look animal-like. Some of them, like these pentacles, have snakes on them, the people. And the cups have like these little mer people, which are kind of neat. And as far as kind of like the grotesqueness, the swords have little bird people. And yeah, there are these, she likes to draw a lot of kind of disembodied limbs and stuff like that, and you immediately think like, oh, that's weird. But for some reason it works. And I find them just, you know, beautiful and interesting and really emotionally kind of, I don't know, they're very, there's something about them that really connects with me. Like here's an example of one of the cards that she's drawn. This is the 9 of Pentacles. And you can see we've got this kind of like disembodied cut off hand here with a little bone poking out that is kind of grotesque, but it's also kind of awesome. And then here we have the Fool, who is a very familiar card to anyone who does tarot, but we have this like sort of androgynous person with antlers standing in the sun holding an arrow. Like, it's very strange, but very cool. So I really enjoy working with this deck. I would say that this is a nice deck for anybody who feels like the traditional iconography or the traditional representations on a tarot deck are like too exclusive. Like this one is, there's something about it that's very kind of off center and neat to me. So, so I was wondering what you would like for me to talk about today. It just looks like there's 5 people joining me right now. Last time that I was here, I did just kind of pulled a card for all of us and gave kind of an interpretation. If I could do that again for you, and I was planning to, but if there's anything that anyone would like to talk about or ask about, any questions about the mask even, or any questions about tarot, or if I could pull something for you individually, I would be happy to do that. So yeah, what are y'all into tonight? I'm gonna wait for some responses. I got the fun bone on top of my head. It was super lopsided, Foon. I don't know what happened here. I don't know. I can't do it right. But yeah, but I got my giant planchette, like Ouija board earrings on for fun. So. Jennifer says, I just moved across the country and I'm doubting everything. Wow, that's a big move. Wow, yeah, I know what that feels like, to move really far away and don't know what you're doing. Maybe I can pull something for Jennifer right now. So I am going to pull a card for Jennifer, who is doubting things because she's just moved across the country. So she's entered into a really big transition. And just to be a little astrological right now, I mean, this is a tough time to do a big transition, but sorry, I've got a mask on my lips. But I wanted to sort of pull that up. Finn says she's at a crossroads in a relationship. Deidre says she's scared about the future. All right, I understand. Yeah. Well, it seems like we're at kind of all of these uncertain places, and I completely feel that. So let me kind of think about uncertainty and this need to make a decision, this need to go somewhere, but you're being scared of the future. Let me pull a card that kind of maybe can touch on everyone's. That would be cool. All right. So for those of you who are feeling uncertainty or feeling scared right now, I'm going to pull a card. And the card that I have pulled is the 2 of Swords. So this is for Jennifer and for Deidre specifically. Let me pull that guy up. Foon asked me how the mask tastes. I didn't really taste it, but it is the Witch's Brew mask if anybody is wondering, and I like it. All right. Well, this card is the 2 of Swords. So this is a scary looking card because we've got these swords and they're poking in this eye and this eye is bleeding. Like I can see this as being like scary imagery. I think that looking at the Two of Swords and sort of thinking about the interpretation of this card. If anyone is feeling uncertainty or in an impasse or having a hard time right now, this card represents being stuck. As you notice, the swords are kind of coming together like this, and in traditional tarot imagery, they're kind of crossed, and it represents something being stuck. It represents your path being blocked. And there's often with this card sometimes comes up when people are asking themselves over and over the same question because they feel stuck, but inside, in their intuition, they often know what they need to do, they're just scared. And I know exactly what that feels like. Absolutely know exactly what that feels like. In my career, I've had this come up and I've felt like that too. So for this, I would say for you guys, for whom this comes up for, if you're at an impasse or at a really tough time, try not to get yourself stuck in the question of what should I do, what should I do, what should I do, and feeling uncertain. And look inside and ask your heart, do you know what you need to do? And are you just scared of doing that? For me, you know, when I kind of was in this situation, I knew that I had to switch careers, but I was scared because I'd put so much into the career that I had. It felt like sunk cost. It felt like, oh my God, I can't even believe I'm doing this. And I kept asking myself, like, well, what if I did this instead? Or what if I worked harder? Or what if I did this? But really in my heart, I knew that it was time for me to go. But I was so scared to confront that. Now that is pretty big kind of interpretation of what that situation calls for. But I think what this card is asking is, do you know in your heart, is there some kind of little voice inside you that you've been ignoring because it's just too scary to face the truth? Do you know what you need to do? That's hard. It's very hard because oftentimes what you need to do is just so tough. And it is perhaps not what other people want you to do, or what you think you should do, or what society thinks you should do, or what it's good to do, or what your mom thinks you should do, you know, that kind of thing. But in your heart, you know the way to get unstuck. It's just the hardest move to make. And before we have to make those hard moves, we're often just going in circles, asking ourselves over and over again, well, what if I did this? Well, what if I did that? Ask myself the same question over and over and over and over and over. Go over what happened a million times. But you know what you want. You know in your heart what you need to do. I hope that was helpful. Again, tarot is for entertainment purposes only. I have to say that. But I think you know what I mean. Dawn says, so right on the nose. Yeah, I hope that kind of helps. Everyone who's kind of, yeah. Jennifer says, I think I probably just need to get my butt in gear and stop sulking that I'm all alone in the middle of the country away from everyone and everything I know. Jennifer, I know how that feels. Holy crap. Yeah. It really, one thing about tarot that I can kind of say just overall for everyone who's listening, I keep wiping mask off my lip. Sorry. The thing with this mask, with these masks that have the oil base, like you can see it's like dripping down my neck. That's okay. Is that tarot is less about predicting the future and more about like holding up a mirror to the intuitive parts of yourself that know kind of what the next step should be. Tarot is really about the it's about connecting you with your own inner wisdom. I think that's a good way to describe it. It's less about like, let me, pull onto let me be like, the oracle of the Greek myth and let me tell you the future as the gods have laid it out, because that's not at all what I believe, and that's not how I've ever done this. It's more like, how can we connect with our inner wisdom in a way that makes sense? And that's why I like tarot as my favorite sort of divination tool, or my favorite kind of meditative tool, because tarot is lots of pictures and lots of symbols, and we as human beings respond really well to pictures and symbols. That's why we like stories, and that's why we like myths and stuff like that. Foon says she agrees, and it's true, we need to reassess. Thanks, I'm glad that helped. And sometimes I think the tarot exists as sort of like a tool to, if a card pops out, it's like, does this ring a bell? Do you know what you need to do? Let's do it. You know already, but this is me, the tarot card, putting these symbols and pictures in front of you so that they resonate and are more powerful for you. So we absolutely need to tap into our inner wisdom, and there's not a lot of opportunities to do that in the day-to-day anymore. And I think that the tarot is a great way to connect that way. And there's plenty of other ways to do that, whatever really connects with you. I connect really well with the tarot. Obviously, other people really connect with the Bible. Other people connect with, the Quran. There are lots of things that help us connect to our inner wisdom. And the tarot is a great tool for that. So let me pull another card that will kind of be our message from the universe this evening for all of us. And this can kind of be our little guidepost for the week from the universe. I still say that because we're all connected in some way to the universe. That connection is very mysterious, but I like to think about it being there. We're connected to our inner selves, but our inner selves are connected to everything else. I am going to pull a card, and I'm going to say that this is the card that is our little message for the week until I see you again next week. So, all right. Let's see what we have to say this week. Aha. All right. So the card that has come up sort of as our message for this week for all of us, the card that's come up is the Four of Wands, which is neat. Okay. So this is the Four of Wands in the Holly Simple deck, and I really like the wands in this deck. Look, they're like little heads. These ones are sleeping, which is kind of neat. Some of them like have their eyes open, so it's awake. But yeah, this is the Four of Wands. And this card, we have wands, which represent the element of fire. And wands represent our minds. They represent thought. And thought moves quickly. So the wands are kind of the fastest moving suit in the deck. They point to fast moving energies, fast moving situations. And of course, the number 4 has a lot of connotations, in numerology, but also when we think of fours, we think of 4 walls. We think of kind of the 4 walls of like a house or a room. We think of like stability. We kind of think of like the nuclear family with like 2 kids and a mom and a dad. It's a card that kind of has all those things there. So we think about the number 4, we think about the realm of thought and things that move and things that are fast. So the traditional interpretation of the Four of Wands is a card of like milestones. And a card that kind of brings you full circle after you've completed something, after you've completed a cycle. It's like a card that, let me think, it kind of marks an achievement and takes you back to the beginning. And it's a card that I guess asks you to think about what you're working towards and if you've kind of come to the end of that and if it's time to start anew, or if you've reached a milestone in your life, and whatever that might mean to you. It doesn't necessarily have to mean like a traditional milestone. It could mean something that is a personal achievement that means a lot to you, and it's time to celebrate that and move on. And so I think that this card could kind of be saying to us, like, all right, we've pretty much gotten to the end of some project we were working on, or we've gotten to the end of some cycle that we're in. Like for me, I'm an academic in my regular life, and we go on the school year, and we're kind of at the end of this last school year, and we're about to start the next school year. That's where I'm at. And so I'm thinking, okay, completed another year in the books. What do I need to celebrate about what I just finished, and what do I need to reassess for what's coming next? Or if you've like completed some kind of like 30-day habit challenge or something, I only say that because I know people who are doing that right now. Like, did you, get a new habit established? If so, congratulations, that's amazing. Think about that and celebrate yourself for it and see what you can do next. Have you gotten through something that's tough lately? Jennifer moved across the country. That's really hard. Can you please celebrate yourself for doing something so difficult and being in a place all alone that's really challenging? A lot of people can't do that. There's a lot of people who cannot do that. That is the most terrifying thing in the world, for them to pick up and leave and move across the country. So to do that is a significant achievement, and it should be sort of a celebration of this amazingly grown-up thing that you've done. I think that another thing that you can ask yourself now is kind of where you're at with your family. Like, I know that the card that's number 4, I mentioned like nuclear families and kind of houses and stuff like that. There's a very like domestic shade to this card. You might want to ask yourself, where am I at with my family right now? Where am I at with my really close relationships, like with my partner and my marriage, or my relationship, or my kids, or my parents or something? And am I at a place where I can reconnect with them, or am I at a place where I need to kind of separate from them? That's another thing that this card can indicate, if that makes sense. Teacher says, wow, that speaks volumes. Jennifer says, I've never felt more like a child. I hear you. But you know what? That you said that. That is where we all end up. And I think that that's signified by this card. See, we have this wheel in the center of the card, and that signifies the cyclical motion of this. In our modern culture, we see time as like this line, like you're born, da, 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 and then your life ends. But in many other cultures, they see time as a wheel, and we're starting to see time as a wheel. And we're starting to see that we have cycles all through our lives. We don't always feel like adults. We don't always feel like children. And when we're very young, we can feel like adults. And when we're very old, or when we're at midlife, we can feel like we're becoming children again. We feel, like we don't have any knowledge, like we're starting over. We feel like kids. We feel like the fool at the beginning of the tarot. Boone says, I can do what you would at, even for someone I love. That's my problem. Then maybe that's something that you will be called at some point in your life to kind of grapple with. But not everyone is called to grapple with the same things in their lives. I think this card reminds us that, I'm really glad that Jennifer and Foon and Deirdre and everyone else volunteered, and Dawn volunteered their thoughts on their situations right now, because I really love this. I think this card reminds us that life is not a line. We're not going to start at the beginning of our lives and that at a certain part of our lives, we're going to feel like, well, we're grown-ups now because, you know, you're 30 years old or whatever it is, and I can handle whatever's coming to me because I'm a grown-up and I'm always going to feel like I've got my shit together. And we know that ain't true. It is not true. We're going to feel like complete babies at some point in our lives. And then at some point in our lives, we may end up in a situation where we feel very wise and very much like we're the older, wise person being consulted. And I felt both of those things in my life, and I'm 38. It's never going to be, I'm going to feel like this because I'm 38 years old. It's always going to be in some situations I'll feel really young, in some situations I'll feel really old. I'll cycle through those things, and that's the joy of living. That's one of the mysteries of living. Cycles. Don says, I never left Queens, so you are a superhero to me. Don, for me, you are a superhero for living there. That's a place to me that is so filled with craziness and adventure and everything. Like I would love to go to like live in New York, but I'm terrified. So yes. Jennifer says, remember the first episode of Punky Brewster where she gets a man in the grocery store? I kind of feel like that, except it's Kansas. Yeah. Kansas is a big, wide state. I completely understand that. So my wisdom for you from the tarot is to look in your lives, see where you are feeling like your life circle is spinning, where your roles are kind of cycling through. Are there places where, you know, you're feeling like you're a child and you're feeling like an adult at the same time? Are there people you are with where you feel very much like a wise old sage? Are there people that you hang out with that make you feel like a little kid? Is it okay to be in both of those situations? Teacher says, I've been speaking a lot about life in terms of seasons. I feel like I'm in winter. It's hard. I'm fighting for survival. That's true. I know that seasons can be hard. Yes, it is. Seasons of our lives can be hard, but we got to remember, and this card invites us to remember that they're seasons. They are not fixed. No season is fixed. Here we are in August, and summer is kind of starting to wane right now. And for some of us, it's like, no, please, summer, don't go away. But we have to understand that we're coming into another season. There'll be another and another and another. And I always tell myself, like, you know, be grateful that the seasons do turn, because the seasons kind of are there to support you. You never know when you'll need the fall to be there. So that's awesome. Yeah. Think about the seasons of your lives. Think about what you feel like and see if you can connect to any of those things and they help you feel better. If something is really hard, know that it's not a line, it's a wheel. It'll turn. You can make it turn. So seasons are hard. My transition to fall is always kind of sad. Me too. Yes. Thank you, Don. Foon says, I feel like crying when someone told me, hey, you're 44 and stop acting like you're in your 20s and make up your mind. People have all kinds of expectations. The voice sometimes tear us apart. We need the inner wisdom from the unconscious mind. Hence, really happy to have Julie's tarot advice. Well, thank you. And Foon, I completely get that. I often feel like in my head, I hear my mom's voice telling me, like, you know, please don't wear that, or like, don't act like that, or don't swear, or could you please not watch cartoons? Or like, why do you collect Hello Kitties, you know, grow up? And here's a funny story. Like, years ago when my mom was still living, my now husband gave me a gift, and it was like a stuffed Hello Kitty. I love Hello Kitty, right? We were in our 30s, and I told my mom, oh, Phil got me this stuffed Hello Kitty. And she said, can't he get you like an adult gift? And I remember thinking, like, what? And I said to her, what's an adult gift? Like a set of steak knives? Is that what I should be getting? What the fuck is that? Sorry for, you know, using that language. But What is a gift but something that brings you joy and happiness that someone freely gives of themselves? Why do we have to put these societal expectations on them for like what's okay for someone who's 32 to give to someone who's 30? Like that's kind of bullshit. So that's what I have to say. Where are the cycles of your lives and expectations killing you? And is there a way to get rid of those? And is there a way to celebrate your own individual unique seasons of your life and know that they're there to help you learn and to make you kind of realize the joy of variety. So I'm going to sign off for now. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. If you have questions about anything I talked about tonight, so I keep wiping mask off my lips, please feel free to write to me, ping me on, in the Sabbatical Beauty group. I'm Julie Alexander. You can just like write to me and I'm happy to respond. If you have questions about this tarot reading or about anything with tarot, or if you have anything you want me to talk about next Tuesday, please let me know. I will be happy to do that. And I will talk to you a little bit about how this mask went next week. So I love you guys. Thank you so much. I am so happy that you are enjoying these. This is so much fun. So I hope that you have a wonderful week. I hope that some of these things that I've said kind of helped you connect with your inner wisdom. Remember that you know what's best inside your heart. Your heart will light the way. So love you all. Good night. Have a great Tuesday and have a wonderful Wednesday tomorrow. Mwah.